to A Glittery Life. Happy New Year. I cannot believe it's 2016. So today's video is all about the best products of 2015 for me. Now I am specifically only talking about products that I discovered or just got in 2015. So these aren't my holy grails. If you want to see a holy grails video, thumbs up this video or leave me a comment down below to let me know that you're interested in a holy grail video. But this is stuff that was new to me in 2015 that I just could not stop using. Now, because I didn't want a really long video, I was very picky and really narrowed it down to some things that I just had to mention. I don't have some products for every category because, to be quite honest, I didn't have a favorite in every category this year. So like including primer, I didn't have a new favorite primer this year. I had a lot of like old favorites. And then I had a primer that I tried in December that I really liked, but it wasn't enough time to really tell you if it was a favorite. So for foundation, it's gotta be between the It Cosmetics CC cream. This is their CC Plus cream. My shade is in light. And then the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops, my shade is in P40. And this year I had an empty of each of these. I used an entire tube of the CC cream, an entire thing of the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. So this is number 2 of both of these, and you can see I'm pretty well through this as well. I pretty much defaulted to these on most days if I wasn't trying something new, or if I don't know, I just wore these. I wore the heck out of these this year. Honorable mention for foundation for me this year has to go to the By Terry Terribly Dawn Solis Tint Serum Foundation. My shade is in number 5, medium peach, and I'm gonna see if I can show you how much of this. Well, you have to really shake this up. This is a fussy foundation. This is a high maintenance foundation, which is why it's not one of my favorites, but I loved it. I would wear it though a couple days and it would be perfect and flawless, and then I would wear it like day 3 and it would look terrible. So I don't know if I just wasn't prepping my skin right those days. Like I said, it is fussy, but when it's perfect, but when it does what it's supposed to do, it is so perfect and so beautiful, and I loved it. So, and I probably am down to about right here in terms of using this. For concealer, I'm not a big concealer person, to be honest. I don't wear a lot of concealer, but there was a drugstore concealer that really stole my heart this year. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles. My sister-in-law turned me onto this, and for me, it's down to about here. That's a lot of concealer. I think I just got this in October, so I feel like I used a lot of it considering I don't use concealer on a daily basis. I just don't wear it very often. So that was definitely a win for me. And probably one of the only drugstore products, actually is the only drugstore product in my favorites. Sorry for those of you who are ride or die drugstore. 2 powders really like rocked it out for me this year. This is the RCMA No Color Powder. This is a huge jar of this. This is actually very inexpensive. This is like around $10 or $12, I think. So great price. You can use this on any skin tone. I have this in my Pro Kit as well, but you can see I've used like a decent amount for a loose powder. I mean, this is, let's be real, this is gonna last me for years. And then the Cover FX Blotting Powder, shade Light. I really thought I would hit pan on this. I'm pretty close, and I didn't hit pan on this, but I really thought I would, especially this summer. That's a fantastic blotting powder, especially if you like a pressed powder. I highly recommend that one. For bronzer, basically the only bronzer that I used this year was the Buxom Tahiti bronzer. I got this in April from one of my sister-in-laws for my birthday. The smell of it might be what drives me to use it, but it's a beautiful shade. You can see, for some reason, my brush really only hit this part of it. I mean, I don't know why that's so weird, but in terms of bronzer, when I wore bronzer, this was what I wore all year long. Loved it. For contour, there was 2 things that I reached for a lot this year that were both new to me. One is the Kevyn Aucoin Medium Sculpting Powder, and I made a nice little dent in that. The other one being the It Cosmetics My Sculpted Face, and you can see that I'm actually barely hitting pan on this one. You can't really tell, but in some light you can really see it. But these 2 I used a lot of, and then sometimes if I wanted to really like rock out a deep contour, I would take this dark one and mix it with those and really kind of chisel out that cheekbone. But really used a lot in terms of this contour powder. I do have a contour video that has my top 5 contour products. I'll link that down below for you. Let's talk highlight. Now, honestly, I probably should do a highlight collection for you because I went like highlight mad this year. I don't know what came over me. I've never bought so many things in one category before as I did this year with highlights. So if you want to see a highlight video, let me know down below, but it's got to go to NARS Tribulation. This is technically a blush for them, but it's really a highlight. It's a highlighting blush. The most beautiful highlight I've ever seen in my entire life. It was limited edition. If you missed it, I warned you, I told you, I talked about this like bananas. I could not stop talking about this. I have 2 of them, one in my kit and one for my own personal use. And I just could not stop using this. The other thing that I just used nearly every day, I feel like this year, was Becca Opal. And I really, oh man, I wish you could see this. I'm filming in natural light, so it's really bright today. And you can't see the big divot in that very well. But honestly, in terms of like high impact power highlight, the Becca Opal was my like jam all year. Some people got really excited about Champagne Pop. I'm not one of those people. I have it. I think I've worn it once. That's how not excited I am about it. But Opal, let me tell you, real excited about it. And definitely want to get my hands on Pearl. I've swatched it and it's really beautiful. Blush was hard for me to choose from because I love blush. I didn't buy a ton of new blushes this year, but I did get 3 that have really stood out to me. One of them, It Cosmetics Sugar Plum. This has been the blush of my fall and winter. It's so beautiful. You've heard me talk about this. You can use it as a highlight, a blush, or swirl it all together and you just cannot go wrong. Once again, this kind of plummy shade is great for all skin tones because you can take it lighter or take it deeper because of the ombre effect in it. Another daily blush for me was MAC Warm Soul. I'm pretty sure I got this at the beginning of this year. I don't think I had this last year, but I really did wear this a lot. If I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do and I was getting ready in a hurry, I always reached for Warm Soul. I do hate the new packaging of MAC though. Unfortunately, I think it's really hard to open and I can't depot this, which kind of drives me crazy, but really, really is a beautiful like peachy neutral blush. Can't go wrong. If you don't have this in your collection, I do recommend it. Obviously, it's in my favorites. And then in terms of cream blush, I love cream blush, especially in the summer. And one of the things that I wore a ton this year was the Tom Ford cream blush in Pink Sand. Let's see if I can get this open. And one of my favorite ways to wear this was to put this all over the cheek and then take MAC Vanilla Pigment and buff it over the top. So it was just this like glowy, perfect, very alive, fresh cheek. And I mean, Tom Ford, I wish I had more Tom Ford blushes, but you have to start somewhere. In terms of eye products, this is going to be no shock to you because there's 3 things that I've talked about nonstop this year, and of course they have to be in my favorites. Number 1, duh, Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. I actually picked up recently duplicates of some of these to put in my kit, so I have the newer ones to show you today. This is Mona Lisa. Probably like one of the ones that I wore most frequently. Along with Mona Lisa, I could not stop wearing Marie Antoinette. You can see that's got a pretty decent divot in it. These are beautiful, and I just, especially on days that I was in a hurry, which is a lot, one swipe of these, blend it out with my ring finger, boom, there we go. Beautiful, last all day. They don't crease. I do wear them with MAC Painterly underneath them. So if you're having problems with them creasing and you're not using an eye base, that's why. Get a really good glue base like a MAC paint pot and you'll be fine. I could get 10 hours out of them without them creasing or kind of like diminishing in color. Continuing kind of in that luxury eye theme, it's got to be the Burberry eyeshadow palettes. These are the complete palettes. I've had this one longer. I did get 2 of these, 2 new ones for Christmas. This is the one that I've had longer this year. Honestly, they're so beautiful. They're worth the splurge. They blend easily. I love that the quad feels like a complete eye look for me, and actually in all 3 of them, it feels like a complete eye look. And they're just a luxury product that actually lives up to its brand, lives up to its name, lives up to the quality. Really, really worth it. Can't speak highly enough of those. I wish I had all of them. Probably not all of them. There's probably not shades that I would be really interested in, but they're beautiful. And then honestly, Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek eyeshadows changed my life this year. I was really resistant because I had gotten a starter pack that I was like, womp womp, not into it, not into the colors. And then this year, late spring, I just delved like hardcore into the world of Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and their mattes are beautiful. Their shimmers are beautiful. I have so many of them in my pro kits. I have 2 full Z palettes of them in my personal kit, but I have to talk about the foiled shadows. This palette right here has some of the foiled and some of the duochromes. I wasn't that crazy about the duochromes, to be honest, but the foiled shadows, which is this like top row and this like corner over here, honestly, they're so good. They're so beautiful. In fact, my whole eye look today is with Makeup Geek shadows, including foiled and some of their matte shadows. They are just beautiful. They blend like a dream. I think I'm repeating myself. I'm so sorry, but I just cannot say enough about them. Another great thing about the Makeup Geek eyeshadows is that they're super affordable. There's such a great color range. There is something for everybody when it comes to the Makeup Geek eyeshadow. In terms of lips, I want to talk about 2 things that I just fell in love with this year. One I'd used in my pro kit, but I'd never used personally on myself, and that is the Jack Black lip balm. I have a bunch of these kind of like running around. You know, I'm a Ride or Die Burt's Bees fan, but the Jack Black lip balm is definitely one of my favorites ever. And then Tom Ford lipstick. I'm wearing Tom Ford shade Pussycat. I've worn that like so much this year. I can't stop talking about it. I've worn off the little TF on it. It's just such a pretty dusty rose, and for my skin tone, my eye color, works really well as an everyday. This is sort of that lipstick that just lives in my purse and I just put it on all the time and I forget to wear anything else. In fact, it's actually been hard for me. I've had to make myself wear some of my other lipsticks that I've bought this year, but I really just keep going back to this one. In terms of skincare, there's a couple things that were new to me this year that have been really transformative for my skin, and I just have to mention them. One of them is the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. These, I just cannot live without them. Every time that my skin has been wonky or rough or just kind of a mess, a week or 2 of those and it changes the whole surface and texture of my skin and fixes everything. The other thing that I have gone through, this has probably been the most repurchased item of 2015 for me, was the Bioderma Sensi Bio. I think I've gone through maybe 6 of these, not necessarily this size, but the big ones or the little ones. Actually, probably more than 6 now that I think about it. I could look back at my Beautylish cart and tell you, but I just can't stop using this. This is the pump top that came out, was limited edition, and I wish I would have bought 40 of these. No exaggeration. The other thing that honestly I feel like has just changed my skin every time I use it is the Charlotte Tilbury Skin Goddess Magic Clay, what is this? Skin Goddess Clay Mask for baby skin. I had lost this for a couple months and I was devastated, and fortunately refound it, and I'm so glad because I cannot stop using this. I used this weekly. I can't believe how much is still left in here too. Well, it's a little bit hard to tell because this is like a thicker packaging, but basically from the time that I got this, I was using this weekly as a face mask and I was just loving the results. I couldn't find it for a while after I moved, and like I said, recently found it again and was so happy because it's a game changer for your skin. And then I have to give one other honorable mention to a product that was new to me this year that I wish I had every single one that they'd ever come out with, and that's the Guerlain Meteorites. Obviously, you guys have heard me talk a lot about this. This is the holiday edition. But this is one of those things that I'm like, I wish I just didn't have to pay rent so I could buy these like every time they came out. I don't know how often they come out, but I know I'm missing a whole bunch of them and I'm really sad about it, but I am happy to have this year's holiday collection, and I have worn these like crazy. In fact, you can already see that I'm like wearing them down inside. Let's see if I can get you a good glimpse of that. These are hard to show on camera because that's what happens. They fall out and they're so powdery that they break when they fall out. So sorry, that's as good as it's gonna get for you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was the best of 2015 for me. The other thing that was one of my favorite things this year was that I launched an app recently, early in December. I had an app built for you guys, A Glittery Life, so that you never miss a video, you never miss any content. It's linked to my Instagram as well. If you have not downloaded that, all you have to do is go to the iTunes store, search A Glittery Life. It's free and it's a wonderful way for you to keep current on what's happening. I can't remember if you can comment on videos that way. I think you can, I'm not sure. Let me know if you know the answer to that. I'm sorry that I don't. I never comment on my own videos from the app. So anyway, let me know what some of your favorites were, best products of 2015. And you guys, thank you so much for all the support, all the love, all the comments, all the thumbs up, all the emails, cards, everything from this last year. You made you guys were one of the best parts about 2015 for me, and I'm not even like gonna get all sentimental because whatever, but you guys know that you're one of my favorite things, one of the best parts of my life, and I'm so thankful for you guys. So keep watching in 2016, and yeah, I just want you to know I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.